Hello everyone, in today's video I'm going to be showing you how to make this delectable little mint ice cream chocolate chip pouch. Alright, so the first thing that we're going to be doing is we are going to be taking the hook and placing it over the yarn like so. And then we are going to grab that little piece, yarn over, and we are going to insert. And that's how you create a chain slash slip knot. And we created a knot so that we could adjust it and so that the project stays secure. So you're just going to keep chaining until you get to the desired amount of chains that you want. I ended up chaining 15 because I skipped one and I crochet into the second chain from the hook. And to do that, you are going to insert in the second chain from the hook, yarn over, pull through, yarn over again, and then you have your first single crochet. And you're going to keep doing this until you get all the way to the end of the row. Also, I just wanted to say I apologize for any background noise. I'm outside while I'm filming this voiceover, and so if there's any birds, I'm really sorry about that. Now that we have our row completed, we're going to chain one, turn, and we are going to insert into the first stitch. And then we're just going to single crochet all the way across like we did before. And don't worry if it's a little tight. I know sometimes the stitches are hard to get into, but I just work with what I got. Alright, so for this end of the row, we are going to be doing the same thing we do every single time, which is inserting, and then we are going to be chaining one and single crochet into the first stitch and every other stitch after that. And when you get to the end of that row, you will single crochet, chain one, and do the exact same thing for every single row. And that's what's so lovely about single crochet, is it's so easy. So yeah, I hope this is a beginner friendly project for everybody. I tried to make it as easy as I could. Let me know if I could slow it down, or if there's any recommendations that you have or any feedback that you have for me. Now we're going to be making the strap. I guess it's not really a strap though, because it's just going to be the middle part that's sewn together. We're just going to do our basic slip knot, and we're going to end up chaining 5 so that we can have 4 chains to single crochet into. So it's going to be 4 single crochet. And just remember that however big you do the middle part, that's how wide the project is going to be. So I wouldn't suggest doing it super wide, because it will be really unproportionate. So I found that this is kind of like the perfect amount for our project. And then you're going to be turn your work, insert, and chain one and single crochet, and you're going to just basically do the same thing that we did for the first part, except now it's just this little middle part. And you're going to do this for all 3 parts: the front part, the back part, which will include the flap, and then this middle part. So just keep doing the same thing until you reach the end of the this part. Alright, so in order to weave in our ends, because I know that there's some beginners that watch my stuff and they may not know how to really weave in ends, so I'm just going to show you how I do it, but I'm really bad at explaining things, so I'm just going to let the video speak for itself. And yeah. It's okay to weave into the project because nobody's gonna see this side. It's gonna be hidden on the inside of the project. Alright, so the way that I see how much I have left to go, because you don't want to go over with the middle part, so I just attach clips to my project, and I just do so by lining it up in a straight line, and I put stitch markers on every single piece of the project, and then it can kind of form like the 3D effect that you see. And so yeah, just do it in a straight line, and then it'll kind of create like a box shape, and you can see what you have to do. Alright, so here's the last clip that I did, and then you can kind of see what I'm talking about. So I see that I only have 3 more rows to do, so that's what I did, and that's what you can do as well, because this really helps so that you don't go over and the project doesn't look all wonky and holy and all that kind of weird stuff. So now it's time to do the chips for the mint chip purse, and the way I do this is through embroidery, which is really super easy because this is beginner level. Like, we're not doing anything crazy here. We're just placing the yarn, and then we stick it in another place, and we just pull through, and we just create, you can create any kind of random design that you want. And all of ours aren't gonna look the same, but that's the beauty of it. If you end up making this, you can take a picture and tag me in it so I can see how y'all's looks. And yeah, I'm sorry, sometimes I don't realize that I come out of frame in these videos. I'm trying to work on that. I am new to this channel, so new to tutorials. I've only ever managed to do 2 successful tutorials, and those are still work in progresses, so I don't know how this is gonna come out, but I mean, I'm hoping that it comes out good enough for you guys to understand, because it's really cute project. So just keep on doing this throughout the whole, well, no, like half, because the strap is going, I mean, the flap is going to prevent people from seeing the upper part of it, so you kind of only want to do like the downward part of it, if you know what I mean, because the flap is going to be covering the chips, and you don't want all your hard work to be covered. So I like to just do about half. Alright, as you can see, I'm just like testing out to see how the flap is going to look with the chips. So like I said, only do like a little bit of chips at the bottom, but I did chips all along this strap, and also weave in the ends on all of these, you know, just so that they look nice. Alright, so I'm going to show you guys how to weave in these, because I know some people might not know how to weave this in without it blending into the project, or, you know, something like that. So I take the backs of the stitches, and like that's how I weave it in. I think that's how most people weave it in. I'm not really sure, but I know that's how I do it, and it doesn't really end up showing that much through the project, so you don't really have to worry about people seeing the brown in it. And also, this just makes it really secure, because you want your project to be as secure as possible so that it doesn't come loose. Especially if you're selling things, you don't want this to come loose and somebody to say something about it. So I just try and weave in as much ends as I possibly can before creating a knot and kind of, you know, tying it in place, making sure it's not going to go anywhere. That's the front of the project. I think the chips end up coming out really cute. You can do small ones, big ones, you know, just to kind of make it a little bit more realistic for your liking. Alright, so now it is time to sew the actual piece together. And as you can see, I have attached clips to my project just to keep it in place, and you should do the same thing or else it's going to be a little wonky to work with. I take the needle and I try and place it through the part where I think it's going to look the best. And basically, the best way I can describe it is the place where you did the chain 1 for your middle part and the piece part, there's going to be like a tiny hole, and you're basically going to sew into that spot. And that's the best way I can describe it, is you're going to take the place where you did the chain and then you did the turn and all that. You're going to do that, and you're going to weave in through those little tiny holes, because if you notice, they kind of make, they make edges. So you're basically going to be sewing along those edges, and you're going to do that for both pieces. But since we only had one string for the flat piece, in the next segment of this video, I'm going to be showing you how to attach the yarn to it so that you can continue sewing the project without running out. Okay, so now I'm going to be showing you how to add the yarn, because as you can see, we can sew on that side, but we can't sew on this side. So we're going to be inserting the the needle per usual, and then you're gonna tie like a little knot, and you don't want to tie too much yarn because then you might run out of enough to sew. So just tie like a little piece with the big piece. And then pull your yarn through your needle. Take the first little clip off, and then you're gonna be sewing like I showed you guys in the first part. And you can choose to put that little piece where you're gonna be sewing so that you kind of weave in the ends. I just didn't because it gets in the way. All of these little clips and stuff get in the way too, but they have to be there or else the project will just be really uneven. So you're gonna keep on sewing until you get to the part where the other piece of yarn is for you to sew the other side. Alright, so now that the purse is almost ready, or the mini pouch, it is time to admire your work of art. And I don't know why, but for whatever reason, I just kept showing this over and over again in the video, and now I'm confused in the voiceover, so that's always fun. Basically, you are going to take the hook, place it into the side, and then I actually failed the first time, so let's try that again. And then you're going to pull the yarn through, and we're just going to chain 1, and we're going to single crochet into the second. It's not really a stitch because this is the hard part, but basically just try and crochet into like the little tiny holes that you see, which would be the chain 1 turns, and just try and crochet into those, and keep repeating this process for the whole thing, because it's going to create like a little chocolate border. It's also going to make it easier to close, because I don't know if anybody else noticed, when they do these kind of purses, the flap always sticks open, and since I don't want to place a button for the opening, I'm just going to do this, and it's going to make it lay nice and flat. And yeah, it's just going to be a really cute little chocolate border. And then we're going to do some chocolate drizzle and a little whipped cream. It'll be the perfect little mint chocolate chip ice cream pouch, which is crazy because when I was a kid, I hated mint chocolate chip. Alright, so for the drizzle, we're basically just going to be doing lines. Insert the needle through and pull. Make sure that you have a little bit of tail, and then you are going to insert into the other side. Make sure that you are always inserting into the same row so that it's not, crooked or anything. Make sure that you pull a little bit tight. I know you can't really see the next step, but basically you're just going to go into the next row and you're going to pull up. And you're doing that because you want it to be tight. You want it to be pretty tight, so just keep on doing that. And yeah, always go through the opposite side so that it's nice and tight in the end. And you're gonna have your little chocolate drizzle. Alright, so for this one, for the little whipped cream, I've pulled the yarn through just the middle of the stitches for the chocolate border. And I'm going to make a chain. And then I'm going to do 4 half double crochets, and I'm not going to pull through any of them because we're going to pull through all of the 5 loops on the hook at the end of this, and then it's going to create like a little bobble which will kind of replicate like a little whipped cream. So you're going to pull through all of those, and then we're just going to slip stitch. And it might be a little hard, but we did it. And then yeah, just kind of pull that. And now you've got a little whipped cream, and then you can pull the tail and weave in the ends and put your little beads on and whatever else, and now you've got your own little crochet dessert pouch. So I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial, and yeah.